Good morning.
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 Thank you very much for coming today. This is a bit of a new model for us in terms of communications. We wanted it to be a little different than simply having an executive interview me. And so what we thought we'd do is have employees have the opportunity to ask some questions. Par contre, étant donné qu'on n'a pas plus qu'une dizaine de minutes, j'ai cru bon de faire certains commentaires généraux avant de passer aux questions. I wanted to first and foremost tell the organization how incredibly proud I am of what we've achieved over the last quarter. We announced several days ago that we've raised $1.1 billion, which solves a lot of our liquidity challenges. And this $1 billion puts us into the liquidity levels of all of the major North American companies. We've also announced in the last quarter $75 million of operating profit, and at the same time $333 million of EBITDA. That's earnings before interest, taxes, amortization, depreciation. And I have to say that that is 150% improvement over last year. So all in all, I'd say that we're off to a pretty good start. I'd also like to cover some of the priorities that I've been discussing over the last year. We did very well in terms of delivering premium revenues. The business class cabin showed that we were successful with some of our initiatives. We delivered good on-time performance and customer satisfaction surveys. And above all, during the last quarter, we won the Skytrax Award for the best airline in North America. J'aimerais vous dire qu'on a fait beaucoup de progrès sur le plan international. On a lancé des services sur Bruxelles, Copenhague, Barcelone, Athènes cette année. On a augmenté notre capacité sur le Pacifique vers Tokyo, Shanghai et Beijing. Finalement, nous avons signé une co-entreprise avec Lufthansa, United et Continental pour le service sur l'Atlantique. On appelle ça Atlantic Plus Plus, qui est en vigueur à partir du mois de janvier de cette année. So generally, I'd say that, again, we're off to a very, very good start for 2010. Now the floor is yours. Place à vos questions.
Kalen, thanks for the opportunity to participate. I think one of the primary questions that a number of us have deals with trust. We have a future with this airline, I hope, and we like what we've seen so far, or what we've heard. But the trust issue is serious. The airline, as it was previously in its previous form, was largely dismantled. As pilots, our first experience with your presence was in a deal with Jazz, whereby our work was basically taken away and given to another group. And although we understand the economic pressures and the realities of the corporation at the time, and the decision probably was the best one, it seemed like a bit of a backroom deal. Trust is a huge issue for us and a lot of the employees, and this is what we need to know, is whether we can trust you.
Right. Good. Thanks, Greg. Well, I'd say the following. First of all, in order for an airline like Air Canada to be competitive in the very dynamic environment that we're operating in, we have to manage our costs, and we have to do what we do best. In terms of the dismantling, so-called dismantling, what happened with Air Canada in 2003, 2004 was a transformational event that was the first, but not necessarily the last, in a series of events post-privatization. When you look at where the company started and where it is today, it's evolved a great deal. And so what is it that we have today? Well, today we have a company that has $2 billion of liquidity, that has a great international franchise, that has one of the youngest fleets in North America. We have the 777s, we have the Embraer in the fleet. And so, when folks look at the events of the transformation, you see that in reality the glass is at least half full, frankly, a lot more than half full in my estimation.
All the employees that I run into, for the most part, want to trust the leader that they're working for. It gives them a lot of morale. What is your commitment to this airline?
Well, look, as CEO, it's my expectation is that I will leave a mark on this airline that will improve it from where it was when I started. I wish that I could say that the environment we operate in is one where we will be able to make all of the people happy all of the time in all employee groups and all passengers. This is a challenging business, and we're hard pressed to have a sustainable company that needs to do what it can on the long term. So, what you see is what you get, and you're going to, so long as I'm here, you're going to get the straight goods. I've been very clear with the various employee groups in my discussions as to how I see the things unfolding and what my priorities are, and how it is that we can create more jobs and have successful careers and have people be proud of being an Air Canada employee. And I think, again, over the first 15 months, I'm very, very pleased with that direction.
Je me demandais, c'est quoi nos plans de croissance pour le futur?
Avec l'arrivée des 787, on s'attend à pouvoir ouvrir des marchés qu'on ne peut pas desservir aujourd'hui. En Inde, en Chine, d'autres destinations en Chine, d'autres villes en Chine que Shanghai et Beijing. Et donc, nous, on met beaucoup d'emphase sur l'arrivée des 787 et on s'attend à première arrivée au milieu de 2013.
2013, mais avant ça, est-ce qu'il y avait des rumeurs qu'on était pour avoir des 767? Est-ce que c'est dans le futur, ça aussi, bientôt ou plus tard?
Ça, c'est toujours une possibilité Nous, on va essayer de gérer notre croissance entre maintenant et le moment où on reçoit les 787. Mais s'il y a des situations appropriées, la réponse sera potentiellement oui.
I'm just curious whether or not it appears that we're sitting on a back burner just waiting for an aircraft that will support routes. Are there aircraft available today that we can get, that we will take advantage of opportunities that exist presently as opposed to waiting for another almost 3 years?
Yeah. The answer is yes. There are aircraft. There is a secondary market for aircraft, and there are aircraft that are available. But the discipline, and this is the discipline that we have to have as an organization, we won't add growth just for the sake of growth. Aircraft will be added to the fleet only where there is a compelling business case to be made that we can make money off of it.
I have a question on the pension. I think, as with all the employees, it's very important. We've contributed for a very long time, relying on that when we retire. And as we know, there's been some problems. Where do you see the pension in a year, in 10, in 20?
Right. No. Well, look, this is again, excellent question. So, I'd say on the pension, I'd like to almost take a step back to sort of say what is the size of the challenge here. We all work for an airline. This airline, in terms of benchmarks of valuation, the way people look at what is the total enterprise value of this airline, you look at the total amount of debt and the total amount of equity, and that is the enterprise value. That's about $6 billion. Between all the debt that's borrowed, all the airplanes, and the rest of that, it's about $6 billion. The total value of the liabilities of the pension fund are $13 billion. So put differently, I often ask myself the question, are we an airline that has a pension fund, or are we working for a pension fund that has an airline as an ancillary activity? Because the pension fund is double the size of the airline in terms of magnitude. You have a situation where if stock markets move in the wrong direction, let's say they go down by 1%, that's worth $100 million on the value of the plan. So I think over time, everyone will look at the benefits. My expectation, just as we did last year, we managed to do everything that we did, and everybody received their pensions. There was no change to benefits. There was, so that continued. But obviously, there will have to be at some stage some discussions as to how do you go forward as you take on new employees, and what would the rules be for the new members coming in, and should there be an early retirement at such and such a level, et cetera. Those are the kinds of questions that will come up.
And Kayleen, I appreciate your comments on the pension and the problems and deficiencies we're facing with it. But in the meantime, the employee group has become one of Air Canada's largest creditors. And commitments were made to us that these pensions would go forward. Would upper management, senior management, consider if any windfall gains came the way of the corporation, if we started to become profitable, that we're going to see extra money put into these pensions.
Well, effectively, that's what we did with the share ownership. It's precisely that question is bang on to what we did last year. As part of that arrangement, when we made this deal on the moratorium and then the fixed payments, we also issued some stock, some shares that have now created about $40 million of value for the employee groups. The shares have gone from $1 wherever they were last year to $2.30 or wherever they closed yesterday, and those shares were granted as part of that arrangement. So that's about $40 million of value that have been created for the benefit of the employees' pension plans.
Kaylin, can you tell me what your vision is for the future of Air Canada? Where do you see us? Are we going to make money? Will we see a future in this place?
Right. Yeah. Great question. Look, I think that I would not have come back and taken this challenge unless I thought we could, if I didn't think we could make money, be profitable, be an industry leader. And this is why I said at the outset here, I'm actually very gratified to see the progress we've made in the 15 months since I've come back. Because, under the half full, half empty environment, we made $333 million of earnings this last quarter. We were named Best Airline in North America. We did an amazing job with the Olympics. We did an amazing job in Haiti with the, helping out as we did there. We are one of the industry leaders in terms of all of our, charitable commitments where the employees really get behind something. Not one pension plan has been defaulted on. Every single pensioner has received their pension. And we've managed to repay the debt that we had last year, where people had all kinds of questions as to whether we had the right group of lenders with ACE participating, Aeroplan participating, EDC. And we managed to pay that off all within a year. So I would say that your yes is absolutely the answer to that. My expectation is that you do get a group of great employees who get behind a vision and develop and deliver a industry-leading company. And that's my expectation, nothing less than that. Merci beaucoup pour votre participation. Thank you very much for this panel discussion. Actually, it's a new format. I really enjoyed it. And I think that hopefully we've got some good dialogue going that the rest of our employees can enjoy. And remember, you can send your questions, if you have any, to horizons@aircanada.ca. And we will see you next time. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Pleasure.
Not very often you get the opportunity to speak to a high level or the highest level manager at Air Canada. And I really appreciate the opportunity and appreciated his time today. Thank you very much.
For a pairing or a series of flights, they'll come in here. And
I look at him with cautious optimism, and I entrust in him as the leader of this company the opportunities to see something successful, something to be really proud of, and something to work forward with. And I'm hoping that the vision he has will carry forward and that we'll see the results of it soon.
Hi Yvette, bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Bien, merci vous-même.
À mon expérience aujourd'hui, c'était un honneur et un privilège d'être ici, rencontrer Alain personnellement. C'était très relax et c'était très confortable de lui demander des questions. Il est très personnable. Or traffic, sometimes you get a reroute, like when we had the big volcano.
it was a great experience. I mean, anytime you get a chance to talk to a senior executive like that, ask some really difficult questions. I mean, the average line employee doesn't necessarily get to do that at a company like Air Canada. So I see it as a positive thing. I hope it continues, and I hope this dialogue continues because I think that goes a long way towards this changing culture, which really needs to happen.
So it was basically a very interesting